Montrell, so they released previews for the Final Fantasy Commander decks for Magic the Gathering today, and I will tell you, they kind of knocked it out of the park, bro. Not gonna lie. You should
No,
go
the
take
art
a
was.
look. The art is
I,
so
I
cool.
I have been looking at the art. I have no choice but to see the art. Unfortunately, it's been all over my Twitter timeline.
Yeah,
People who don't even play fucking
yeah.
you don't even play
Magic.
fucking Magic Gathering
Yeah.
are considering buying these cards and stuff like that. So I did. I already looked at them and they actually look really good.
No, they
Um,
did a great job, dude. I love it. The one of the cards called Farewell is it's a board wipe, that like kills all, like it like exiles like basically everything off the board and resets everyone.
mhm.
But it is it has the art of Yuna and Titus at the end of Final Fantasy X. Basically, where I again never beat the game, so I don't actually know what scene this is specifically referencing, but I believe it's towards the very end where Yuna's like gonna go sacrifice herself, maybe. So,
Yeah, I
um,
don't. I don't. I'm not going to say anything unless you beat the
okay,
game.
that's just my
Yeah,
guess based on what I know about
yeah.
the game. But so yeah, I mean, I think they knocked it out of the park. I was skimming through art earlier, and yeah, dude, it looks the decks look really good. I think they picked the best games for this as well. They went with Final Fantasy 6, 7, 10, and 14 are the ones they went with, and I'm like in love with all four decks. I think they did a great job, and I'm like really excited, really excited about it. So, just as like collector pieces, I think this is a really cool set actually. But
Okay.
so yeah, might be time for you to get a Magic the Gathering deck,
I don't think I'm gonna buy a deck to play. I'll probably buy a deck just to have.
just to have it. Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah,
fine too, as like a collector's piece. Yeah, no,
yeah. I
I
think I
get
might
that
do that.
totally. Um, but yeah, so yeah, no, I'm excited about that. It's coming next month in less than a month now. I think on the 13th of June is the official release date for the set. But so yeah, good stuff.
No.
All right. Well, how's life treating you this week, Montreal? You're doing all right?
It's been extremely busy. I don't
Yeah.
know. I've been so busy that I fell asleep at work, or
Yeah,
not with work, but
you just went
obviously I
into
fell
like a
asleep.
Trump cadence there, real quick. You're like, I've been busy. I've been so busy, so busy.
But yeah, like I can't even do it. I'm so tired. It's
I just love it when people fall into that cadence, unaware that they're doing it. It is the funniest thing. It's super funny, actually.
yeah. I mean, like, so we have a new hire that we're training for the
Yeah,
San Antonio region. They're also trying to backfill my position,
yeah,
so they're doing
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
And everything is just like piling on at one time. This is the season for like our interns to come in, and we have to get their equipment ready. And we got like 3 or 4 projects. Each of us have like 3 or 4 projects we're juggling and everything like that. I tried to take a vacation. I'm not gonna be able to take a vacation at least for another month and a half. Because like
Ooh.
we're a small team, so uh, there's no openings until like the middle of June. And then even then, I probably can't take a vacation because I'm mobilizing around that time, like a major job site.
Yeah.
So uh, I just been exhausted, and I've been so exhausted that even my wife like texted me, was like, "Hey, let me let me give you like a spa weekend to yourself or something like that. Let me pay for a spa weekend to yourself."
Yeah.
So probably gonna do that or whatever.
That sounds
But
wonderful.
yeah, but like in my head, I'm like, if I'm gonna like go to like a spa resort weekend type situation, I can't bring my computer. Like I'm gonna play my games. So uh
Yeah.
I'm still gonna take it though, but yeah, obviously I can't take my computer. This would be the perfect time if I had a Steam Deck to take my Steam Deck.
Steam Deck, some books.
Yeah,
Yeah, that still sounds fucking awesome to me. I don't know.
yeah. But yeah, I just obviously I didn't realize how tired I was until today. Like I said, when you text me, it was like, "Hey, we're doing the podcast. I'm ready," and I literally passed out like with
Yeah.
my phone in my hand. So yeah, I just been fucking tired, man. It's been a really busy week. a good week, but a really busy week. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, all right. Well, we'll try to get you through the show quickly today so we can get you some
I'm
sleep.
actually okay. I'm actually okay right now,
You're
but
good now? Okay, so you'll be good
yeah.
for some league later probably then. Okay, great. Perfect.
Oh, I don't
Uh
know about that, brother.
Put you through the fucking ringer. But yeah, I don't have anything. Life's just going for me right now. Nothing crazy. My I will say the arm though is the shoulder is we're getting there, man. Like I'm feeling like it's not obviously we're not 100%, but I'd say it's like 80 to 85 maybe percent there. At this point, I can stick my left arm like straight in the air now for the most part with not too much pain. So we're making progress. I can touch my back with it now, which is that wasn't true a couple weeks ago. So we're making some progress there for sure. And then I have a vacation coming up in June, going to Padre. I'm looking forward to the beach, man. Oh my god, I need a beach vacation. Like it's been 2 years, and I'm just like I'm fucking chomping at the bit to go for this one. So looking forward to that too. So yeah. I don't think I'll miss an episode though. I think I'll be able to record actually.
Okay.
So so yeah. Um so we got that going. But let's get into this show so we can get through this. Um Welcome everybody. This is the Players Take, episode 322. I'm your host, Justin DeSimone, joined as always by my co-host, Montrell Rice. This is our weekly show where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games. We post at 6 a.m. Central Time on Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and your favorite podcast app of choice. And if you'd like to send us questions, you can do so on Twitter at The Players Take, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. All right, let's get into what we've been playing. Montreal, you want to go first, or you want me to take it first this week?
The first one we're probably going to talk about with each other. So the other one I've been playing, like I said at the beginning of this month, or I think a week ago, I'm not really doing anything too serious. I'm not taking on too many new games this week
Yeah.
or this month,
Yep.
because I'm trying to get both my certs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still doing that. I'm taking that seriously. And I discovered I was playing do my replay through Devil May Cry 4, which actually isn't the hardest Devil May Cry. But it does have Dante has the most limited move set in Devil May Cry, which makes that the hardest as far as like Dante wise.
Devil
So
May
I've been
Cry
trying to play
3, right?
no Devil
Or,
May Cry 4.
oh,
4
4.
has
4, 4, 4.
yeah, I'm explaining my process of how I
Gotcha.
got here.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so
Yep.
so uh yeah, like he is just not. If you ask everyone of like Devil May Cry fans, like they'll say he's the most satisfying to like play once you learn how to play him, but he is definitely the hardest to learn because he has such a limited move set, and it's
Mm-hmm.
very like technical. But the game, the animations, and the gravity and everything of that nature, the way everything fights in Devil May Cry 4 feels very satisfying compared to even DMC 5 and DMC 3. But since I follow like since my Twitter is kind of curated for like action games stuff like that, it also curates me for a lot of DMC stuff. So this mod that I didn't even know about was being worked on for like a year, I think almost a year and a half. It was called DMC 3 Crimson, and it's a mod for the special edition of DMC, which is on the collector's edition of the HD collection of the Steam version of DMC 3.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, this like super good mod came out where they put Style Switcher in there. That's because DMC 3 did not have Style Switcher where you can swap between Dante's 4 styles on the fly like you can in DMC 4 and 5. They put Capcom actually put the best version of HD DMC3 HD on the Switch, where you can get the style switcher, you can have up to 5 weapons on, you can swap between those during combos and everything. So that's like the official Capcom version is on the Switch, and that version is locked there on the Switch. It's not on any other platform, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So this mod actually does that, and it actually tweaks a lot of other stuff as far as DMC3. It kind of modernizes DMC3 a lot. whereas like some of the gravity, some of the jump canceling and everything like that, you can totally customize it and everything of that nature. But I just use like the default settings in the Crimson and in the Crimson app or whatever. So I'm actually playing through it, and it's making me play through DMC 3 really well, because DMC 3 is the only DMC I did not play um Dante Must Die mode, or I think they have a version similar to Dante Must Die mode, whereas you get one hit, you die.
Mm-hmm.
And DMC 3 is like super hard with that because the enemies are actually aggressive. They're more aggressive than they are in 4 and 5. So I'm trying to like work my way up to that. So I'm actually just playing like normal mode. Then I'm gonna play through the hard difficulty, then like the very hard, and like the super hard difficulty or whatever. And then they added legendary Dark Knight mode. The mod added legendary Dark Knight mode. The reason I like those modes though is because the enemies have more health, so you can experiment more with your combos instead of enemies almost dying like mid combo, or whatever like that. Which sounds crazy to a lot of people, but like I like in like action games when my enemies have a lot of health because you have to have
Yeah.
more experimentation to beat the enemy and everything of that
Yeah.
nature.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I like drawing
so
out fights in my action games too.
yeah, so um, yeah, so that's why I'm playing through this, and it's been very fun so far. Um, and yeah, I just been focused on that and like doing some studying and everything like that. I did beat South to Midnight. Not too much to say on it. I actually forgot what happened at the end of it because I beat it so fast.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go back and beat it again next week, and then I'll have what I beat for you guys, and I'll explain the story. The story is okay. I just think sometimes stories last too long in games that don't need
Yeah.
to do that. And that's not to say this story was like super long, but it just like kind of overstayed its welcome in my opinion. I think the character Hazel. I think Hazel's a phenomenal character, especially as one of the black characters. She's not cringy or anything. Like you can definitely tell the people who made the character talk to black people. I don't know how to explain it, which I don't know how to explain it without like sounding super political. But
Yeah.
uh, um, there are certain type of people that think they know, and it's usually like on the liberal side of stuff, right? Those people usually think they know how other cultures of people act because they like, oh, this is what I see, and they don't really actually talk to those people. If that makes any sense. But this one actually feels like they did a lot of research within like the culture of Louisiana, and, um, just certain mannerisms, stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty cool game. I don't think it's not trying to teach you any kind of racist stuff or anything like that. It's just like a folklore video game with set in like modern times of Louisiana, and I
Mm-hmm.
think it's a really cool. I think it's a really cool game, especially if you have Game Pass and you got like maybe 10 hours to spare between games. I think you should play it. It's a really cool game, in my opinion.
Okay.
Um, really cool adventure game. Like I said, it gave me Ratchet and Clank vibes. It didn't give me, as far as like the way the game is structured uh and adventuring and everything of that nature and everything. So it gave me like Jack and Daxter or Ratchet and Clank vibes as far as that. It's not like a action game like God of War, Devil May Cry, but it is an action game in term action platforming game in terms of like old school action platforming games. That was like they came out in the early PS2 era. That's what it reminded me of. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get the league talk out of the way. We've been playing league. We've been doing some flex. We've got enough people for a 5-man stack, and man, we have been fucking dominating in the 5-man stack. I think I'm 12-1 or something right now.
Yeah,
In
we are
flex.
12-1 in
And
flex.
I will say, admittedly, I think a lot of that is salty. Frankly, like he just dude it's unbelievable to watch him play sometimes, bro. It's just some of the shit he does. I'm like, dude, I don't even remember. Was it yesterday we were playing and he was
It was
like,
the last game he
dude,
saved us. That was the
he was in their base, bro, fighting them, and he's literally at like 5% health, and he like 1v1s 3 people at 5% health and kills them all, and fucking gets out. like I'm like I'm like, brother, what is going on? He's so fucking good with Master Yi. It's insane. Like, I'm like, I'm like, what am I watching? What the fuck? So I think a lot of our success is due to that. I will say though, admittedly, I don't think we're in the right rank as a group. I think we're playing against people that are worse than us. Like it's not all salty. Like we're winning our lanes for the most part. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of domination happening throughout the map. But I'm enjoying the flex. I'm just looking forward to getting to the point where we're like having some more challenging games. I think that last game was fun because it was a little bit more like it was harder, right? Like we weren't just
Yeah.
fucking rolling over the enemy team,
Yeah.
or whatever. So I'm sure we're gonna hit our wall some point soon. I mean, I'm in silver now. I think everybody else is either silver, low silver, or bronze as well. So I think once we start heading towards gold, we'll start seeing the harder teams.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of just adds. I don't know. I feel like if we're if you have a competent team, then you can win the game, and we're all
Yeah,
pretty competent in the game. So, uh, I do like the flex play or whatever. Even in certain situations where we did like early in the flex game, we were going against people that were like legitimately platinum and everything. I think we went against a
yeah.
team that had like
One
three
of
or four platinum, like
team.
maybe three platinums and then a gold or something like that.
I think we beat
And then,
somebody that was diamond, didn't we? Too
yeah, we
like
did. Yeah, we
yeah,
did. So, um, so it's not like we're bad at the game, and that's why it's so funny when we go into solo queue and we have so many issues because it's like,
yeah,
uh, I just feel like in solo queue, your team is always worse than the enemy team. Like
yeah.
I don't know why it feels
That's
like that, but
that is
it,
how
it
it
always
feels. That's how
it
it feels
always
to
feels
me.
like that. And I know it's not true. I know they have data to prove that it's not true, but it always feels like I
Yeah,
have
but
to
why is it?
babysit my
Why is it
team.
even when it's not true? My team's having their down game of their last 10. You know, that's what it feels like. Even the
Yeah.
players that are like good. You know,
Yeah,
it's just
I
like
have run
I
into
don't know.
games where I'll look into my teammates like history and they'll win 10 games and then I'm the one game they lost. And I'm
Yeah,
like, it
and
doesn't
they
make
played
any
like
sense.
ass, like complete
Yeah.
total ass. Yeah,
I will say too, I've been monitoring like one player. Um Not like I guess you can call it stalking, but I've been monitoring one player on OPGG and everything, and they did not get any kind of reprimanded for their actions on my game. You remember the one player I said last week that I got him twice in a row, and he did the same thing twice in a row where he stopped doing anything, and he just like
yeah,
farmed and didn't do anything anymore in the game. And they were supposed to have systems to detect that. He never got banned at all.
yeah, yeah,
Um, so I will say like I think they're lying when they said their ban system's working. I think when we're getting bans, um, if you look into it, people are just like leaving. Those people are like leaving games the next 2 or 3 games ahead, and then the system automatically bans them for that. And then it
yeah,
tells you, "Oh, we banned this person," but it's only because like 2 or 3 games ahead they left the game or whatever the case may be. So that part of the game is working when they leave the game, but it's not banning them for griefing. It's not doing any kind of repercussions for griefing at all.
yeah,
Unless it's like a hard grief or whatever. But like for soft emptying and soft griefing, it's still not working in my opinion. They definitely need to do some things to improve that. I actually feel like my experience has been worse ever
yeah,
since they introduced the new system. Um, I don't know how to explain it, but like the quality of games have just been ass lately. It's in solo queue. The quality of the games has just been really, really bad.
yeah,
I've been winning my solo queue games, but I've been taking it like at a. I was playing like 5 to 10 games a day, but now I dropped it down to like 2 games in solo queue. I can't do any more than that. Regardless if I win or lose, because it's just uh there have been games where I have hard carried from mid lane, like hard, and my team finds a way to just lose the game. And
yeah,
I don't understand what it is. And then like playing with us,
yeah,
I even when we were like from behind, we still we're bitching, we're complaining, and then we still find a way to either just all shut the fuck up and like okay we're gonna support Salty and let him carry. We recognize who the carry of the game is, and we all just like collectively naturally just like all right we're just gonna shut up and do what we can to help that
yeah.
person carry the game or whatever. And that's not like that in solo queue because everyone's the main character in that
Yeah, you just
situation,
can't play
you
the
know.
game like that. It's so like
Yeah.
people don't want to play that way. Yeah, and it's like because there were a couple games last night I had like a really bad games, or like the enemy team was like like particularly that game where me and Jet got dove for like fucking 25 minutes straight on
Yeah,
bot lane, and
yeah,
we didn't even lose the lane though. Like it was like we had more gold than the enemy bot lane, and they had their mid laner and their jungler just living down there with us, and we weren't feeding. Like
yeah, and
we
we're
ended up winning the game because they put so much effort into fucking us over, and we weren't useless. You know, it's like
yeah, exactly. And on top
so
of that, me and Salty kept every time they dove that lane, like especially
yeah.
when the mid laner left, I just kept pushing the wave,
Mm-hmm,
and I kept
mm-hmm.
punishing him. And then Salty kept taking the jungler's farm. So when he came back,
Yeah.
he was starved, so he had
Dude,
nothing
no,
to do.
Salty was up like there was a point in the game he was up like 60 CS on the jungler or something, the enemy
Yeah,
jungler, and it was like, of
it was
course, because the
crazy.
junglers ganked me and Jet like fucking 6 times. It's like it better look that way, you know. It's like,
Yeah,
but in a norms game, like a solo queue game, it never looks that way because our jungler's a fucking idiot and doesn't know how to take advantage of the fucking shit like that. But we get dove all the time in solo queue too, you know.
yeah,
So it's just it's nice to have people who know how to react to these things, because it's like I don't mind getting dove and having my lane caved in by 80% of the enemy team, as long as my team's doing something with that. It's
yeah,
like if they're not doing anything with it, then we're just gonna lose and it's a miserable game.
yeah.
That's when League is really frustrating. Like that shit was fucking crazy, dude. It was like fucking Volibear and what was it, Lysandra, I think. Like, dude,
Yeah,
they were
Lysandra.
living it.
Yep.
They were living down there, bro. It's like every time we revived, like volleys coming out of our fucking golems, and trying to dive us under the tower and shit, dude. It was like, but we weren't. We were dying, but it was like we were killing like 2 or 3 of them every time they did it too. It was
Well,
like,
we also
um,
had good vision on the map. We were
yeah.
telling
Well,
you
we were
guys
seeing
like,
them early. Yeah, right.
yeah, and we were
Exactly.
telling you guys like, hey, they're coming down, and you guys were listening. I mean, we weren't pinging because we were talking in chat, but like
Yeah.
that's equivalent to like listening to a ping, right? Like we're like,
Yeah.
hey, our lane's missing. They're probably coming down to dive you. Just be prepared for that.
Yeah.
And even if you go 1 for 1 or 2 for 1 in that situation, that's always beneficial to the person who's getting dove, because that
Right.
person sacrificed a lot to do that dive. So
Yeah.
solo queue just doesn't understand that, unfortunately. And
Yeah.
when you play the game, they just cave, man. Like I don't know, man. Solo queue is just playing like rank flex. Showed me how different team league is from like solo queue league. Like I definitely see why people play different LCK and they pick different or LCS. They pick different comps and stuff like that compared to like
Yeah.
solo queue comps and everything. Like it's almost like a totally different game, to be honest with you. Like, and
Yeah.
we're still playing like kind of solo queue mentality. Like, just imagine if we lock in with like different comps that we can enjoy and stuff like that. So
Yeah. 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 So no, it's been fun. But I do want to like climb in solo duo though. Also, I'm like, I'm like, man, I'm like when like 3 of us are on, I'm like, fuck, man, I don't want to play norms. Like it's just I don't know. Norms is like it's just like clowny. But it is what it is. Outside of that, so yeah, I've been playing Kingdom Come Deliverance. I finished it finally, beat it on Tuesday, I think. And I grinded through the remainder of the main story, and it's a great game. The end of the game is really good. I really enjoyed it a lot. You do like I mean, it's just like there's like a big battle at the end. There's actually multiple big battles at the end of the game. It's very it's actually grander in scope than I was expecting for this game. And it gets very political after that, and clearly leads into a second game, which obviously we know already happened. It was released in earlier this year, but they did not hold back that this was the beginning of a story, right? They're not. I think they're planning to do 3 games total with the series. So, but I enjoyed the end of it. I enjoyed the game a lot overall. I think it's a really fun game. It's got some really cool, unique mechanics to it. Is definitely a game that's trying to be immersive, but um, I think it works pretty well. There are issues with the game though. It's not perfect, right? I had a lot of issues on PS5 with the game crashing. Like this happened a lot. I actually had it in the final quest sequence where I was doing one of the battles, and I had gotten through about 20 minutes of it and then crashed like right at the end when I had finished it, like right as it was kind of loading the next part. And the game didn't save, so I had to redo that whole section again. That has happened to me multiple times in this playthrough. I probably had to replay a minimum of 5 hours of the game because of crashes, which has been kind of frustrating actually. So that's definitely something to be wary of. I don't know if that happens on PC, or what the cause of that necessarily is, but this may be a game to pick up on PC if you want to play it. It's probably more stable there. Would be my
Okay.
expectation, but um, yeah, and then overall, just the size of the game, is something I comment on a lot. I don't want to hold it against the game. Really, it's not really an issue. It's kind of a me problem again. Like we've talked about this before. But it's like I've been playing this game legitimately since January, not full time for the most part. I've probably been full timing it for a month and a half or so, maybe 2 months. But it's just in my current part of my life where I am now, like I don't have time to play games like this, to the degree of where I'm beating them in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's like I don't have that kind of time. So it's like it just takes forever to play these kind of games nowadays. So it's not like I enjoy them less or anything like that, but I will say if you're not somebody who can like power through this kind of game, like you're going to be playing it for a while, more than likely, because the game kind of encourages you to be a completionist, not necessarily entirely, but make like golden pathing the main story in this game is not necessarily easy to do because
Hmm.
your skills as Henry will be very low level, and that will make some of the end game encounters very difficult for you because you're not very good at sword fighting, and shit like that. Like you're not actually good at the combat, so it may be difficult to actually get through the game, like literally, because of that. So you probably want to do some side stuff at a minimum in this game for sure. And even golden pathing it, there's like 30 main quests in this game. I would wager that takes at least 50 hours, probably. Like if you're just focusing the main quest. So yeah, it's a big game. There's a lot of content in it, but it's a great game. It's really I enjoyed it a lot. I will probably play this game again someday, and play it very differently than I did this playthrough. But certainly an enjoyable ride. So I'll probably pick up and play the second one in a few months. Like I need a break. I need to play a different type of game than this. So but I'm eager to jump back in. I'm really intrigued from a narrative standpoint, like where the game's gonna go, where the next game's gonna go, with stuff. So I'm excited from that perspective for sure. So yeah, playing that, finished that, and then after I beat that, I decided to boot up the Xbox Series X, and then use one of my Game Pass codes that I've been sitting on for 4 years, and download Clair Obscur Expedition 33. And I started this on Tuesday night. I played about 3 hours maybe so far of the game, and really got into like the beginning part of actually playing the game now. And Man, I gotta say, Montreal, I don't know, would you plan on playing this one or
Oh yeah, yeah,
soon?
for
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
This is a game I'm definitely gonna want to do a spoiler cast with you on. 100%. I'm already all the way in. Like they sucked me in pretty much immediately within the first hour. I think this game has an extremely interesting premise. And I think the execution of the beginning is really kind of pulls you into the story for sure. The beginning of the game is extremely somber. Like this seems like it's a sad game, and it's gonna be a sad game the whole time. Honestly, from what I've heard and just the way the beginning part of the game plays out. So narratively, it's kind of got its hooks in me there. But I will say, like the beginning of the game has some anime qualities to it. Particularly, there's one particular sequence after you get out of the prologue that happens that reminds me of um a couple different animes for me. I don't want to say anything. I don't really want to spoil anything for anybody with this one. So but yeah, I think the beginning of it makes a lot of is very interesting, and is very cool. I will say once you start being able to actually play though, and you're kind of running around and doing stuff, the early part of the game is interesting because I'm playing on hard. I decided to play on hard for this one. And it is hard. Definitely. You're so this game is kind of a interesting game. It's a turn-based RPG
Mm-hmm.
styled in the old like Final Fantasies, like JRPG style Final Fantasy games. And it's turn-based. But it has active elements like Super Mario RPG or Paper Mario, where you like when you attack, you have to press, you hit hit button presses to kind of enhance your attack, or when you're defending, you hit button presses to take less damage or something like that. So in this game, there is a parry mechanic and a dodge mechanic for defending, and this is going to sound weird. I've heard it described this way, and I kind of balked at it at first, but now that I'm playing the game, I understand why somebody would describe it this way. There is a Sekiro element to the
Yeah, I heard.
defending.
Yeah, I heard it's a
And
turn-based Sekiro.
I wouldn't like, okay. Like saying that outright, like it kind of annoys me, but I will say when you play the game, you'll understand is there is you have to, when you're defending an attack from an enemy, if an enemy combos you, you have to defend every hit of the combo. So it's got
Mm.
that rhythm of Sekiro where like if they do 3 swings, you have to hit the defend button on all 3 swings or the dodge button, on all 3 swings. So that I've not seen that in a turn-based RPG like this before. Usually the way this is played out is more like the Paper Mario style where you just hit the button once and that's enough generally. So there may have been another game that I haven't played that does something similar to this. I don't know. But for me, this is fairly unique in this space. It's kind of a iteration on, previous types of games in this genre. So and I will say the developers did mention Sekiro as an inspiration for some of the gameplay systems. So to be fair, they've said it themselves. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's turn-based Sekiro, though. It's like, I mean, it's one thing. It's literally one mechanic. Otherwise, the game has no relation to Sekiro whatsoever. So take that how you will. But I will say the game though, it's not when you're defending, there's no button prompts for when to defend. You just have to time it based on it's very much like an action game in that regard. Like you just have to time it based on the animation you're seeing, and that can be difficult depending on the enemies. And it's interesting that the game will actually, so certain enemies will attack you and the game will tell you the speed of the attack. So it'll say, enemy A attacks quickly, enemy A attacks slowly, and that will be a different attack with a different animation with different timings, based on what those are for every single enemy in the game, so far, at least I'm sure the whole game's kind of like this. So that's kind of interesting. It's cool. It keeps the combat fresh. You don't really necessarily, you're not memorizing patterns that are always the same every single time the enemy attacks. Like they'll have 3 different patterns, or some enemies might have more if they cast spells or something like that, which you can also parry and dodge. So that is kind of a cool element to the game. And the interesting thing is, you can play the game in a few different ways because of this, because you could play it in a sense of like, if you're not very good at the timing of the defending part, you could try to make your characters more tanky so they can take more damage, and you don't actually have to worry about dodging and parrying too much. Or you could focus on dodging, which is easier than parrying, and it's a different result. You'll avoid the damage, but you will not do anything afterwards if you dodge. But if you parry, which is harder, if you parry, you'll not only will you avoid the damage, but you will counterattack the enemy and gain an AP as well. So parrying in this game is extremely powerful. It's like very beneficial to actually like learn how to do the parries in this game. And so that's kind of where I've been in hard mode, trying to figure out how to parry and learn how to parry. But dude, if you miss the timing in hard, like it is extremely punishing early game. You are dying in 1 or 2 hits for the most part, like your characters are. And you don't have a lot of wiggle room with it right now so far for me. I'm sure as the game goes on and my characters get more powerful, my party gets more powerful, I gain levels, there will be it won't be as difficult more than likely, but that's usually how these games tend to play out. But in the early game, I will tell you, like, a lot of enemies will just one shot you if you miss the dodge timing or the parry timing. So if that's not your cup of tea and you just kind of want to play normally, go on normal. I'm sure normal is perfectly manageable. But for me, I'm enjoying playing on hard so far. I like this game kind of pushing me to like really be good at it. And I kind of appreciate that in a turn-based RPG like this, because it's not only just tactical now and strategy that I'm, having to play the game, but there's actually kind of a real skill element with the timing of the blocks and the attacks and whatnot. Attacking is a little different though. When you do a basic attack, there's no enhancing it. It just happens. There's just an animation that happens. But your skills will have different numbers of button prompts. And the game won't tell you this straight up, like when you're looking at the ability, but when you use it, you'll see different numbers of button prompts come up. And this will always be on Xbox. It's the A button, but there'll be like a diamond that pops up. And you will, or actually, it might be a square that's oriented like a diamond, but it'll go around, and if you there'll be like a line that goes around the square, and then you hit it at the end of it, that'll be like a perfect hit basically. But
Okay.
abilities will have different numbers of these, so it's like certain abilities you only do it once, certain abilities you have to do it twice. I have yet to see one that does it 3 times, but that might happen as well. And you will do more damage or maybe critical more if you are hitting those button prompts. But for attacking, it'll actually show it to you. So you'll see it pop up on the screen versus defending where you won't see anything. Right. So it's a little different there as well. And then for character progression, it's actually fairly deep here. So when you level up, your characters will get attribute points for the main 5 main attributes that you can spend freely, and then they will also get a skill point as well that they can use in like a skill tree that they have. Which so far, as far as I've seen, is just abilities. So you'll have you have an ability loadout for each character. And you can only have a max of 6 abilities at any given time. And you unlock these through the skill tree. So you get that every level up, but there's also some equipment you can get called pictos. And if you fight a certain number of battles and win, while you have these equipped, they'll have a passive effect that you can also equip onto your character that require, I think they're called Lumina points or something like that, that you'll get by doing various activities and running around the world, and sometimes it's treasure and things like that. Um, and you'll fill these kind of slots with a certain number of Lumina points, basically, of Picto abilities, uh, from that equipment as well. So there's a few different ways for progression. I think it's deep enough where it's interesting, and it's very customizable. It's your choice, kind of how you want to build each character out, which is pretty cool. So far, I think that everything about this game is drawing me in. The story is drawing me in. The environments are drawing me in. The combat's drawing me in. The character progression is drawing me in. So I think it's kind of hitting on all these levels right now that I'm kind of fully in on this game. I will say too, the environments are fucking gorgeous. This game looks great. And there's some really cool environments even very early in the game. So I'm excited to play more and kind of see more in depth with that. But yeah, no, it's a really good game so far, man. I'm kind of excited for you to play it. I want to see what you think. What you think about it. If the Sekiro comparison is accurate or not. Um, but I don't know. Yeah, like, are you when you're kind of done with your course, is this the next game you're going to jump into, or are you holding off for a little bit?
No, this is the next game I want to jump into. I've actually been surprisingly blocking. A lot of
Hmm.
people have not been spoiling this game, so
Yeah,
I'm happy about that. As popular as it is, it has not been spoiled for me yet. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to getting into this game because this was one of my most anticipated games for this year.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so yeah,
I think both of us were taken by the developer direct when they showed it
yeah,
in January. So yeah, no, it's great. I'm just, I don't know, I'm excited to be playing it. I will say too, it is very French, and I love that. I think it's kind of cool. Like we don't really get a lot of games that have French cultural sensibilities in them. So I'm kind of enjoying that aspect of the game as well. But it is definitely very JRPG coded though, as a game for sure. So yeah, no, it's I'll be playing that probably. Um, that'll probably be my main game besides League. Going forward for the next couple weeks, hopefully. I heard it's not actually that long. I heard somebody say they beat it in like 26, 27 hours or something like that. So,
Yeah, that's what I heard. I
um,
heard the long playthrough was like 50 hours, 50 to 60
yeah,
hours.
yeah, which that's honestly that's awesome. After what I just played, I'm like I'm fucking all for it. You know, and I'm not looking for 100-hour game. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to dig in deeper with it too. So yeah. All right, good stuff. All right, Montreal, let's move on to the news. We don't have a ton of news this week, but a couple interesting stories to talk through. So this has been making the rounds, and I definitely think it's worth talking about. Is the PlayStation Store April 2025 top downloads? They post this article every month on the PlayStation blog. We don't usually go over it because we usually cover Circana, but this is certainly notable given the situation in the industry right now. So I'll just read the top games in the for USA Canada PS5 games. These are the top downloads for April 2025. So Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered, Minecraft, Forza Horizon 5, MLB The Show 25, NBA 2K25, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Grand Theft Auto 5, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Days Gone Remastered, Split Fiction, EA Sports FC 25, EA Sports College Football 25, WWE 2K 25, EA Sports Madden NFL 25, Mortal Kombat 1, PGA Tour 2K25, and then Hogwarts Legacy. So the reason we're calling this out, though, I mean, you guys may have noticed, 5 of the top 10 games are Xbox published games. So Elder Scrolls, Minecraft, Forza Horizon 5, Clair Obscur, and Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Actually, I think Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I actually don't know if Clair Obscur's Xbox published. I don't think it is. Um, but but yeah, I mean, this is notable. The biggest publisher on PlayStation is now Xbox. Yeah, Clair Obscur's publisher was Kepler Interactive, actually. Um, so it's just a game they were heavily highlighting, I guess. But yeah, so I mean, Montreal, like, how does this strike you? Is this like we're just in a different time now, man? Could you have ever imagined this? Like fucking 10 years ago?
Uh, no, but I can definitely see them going. What I thought was happening to them now is I thought was going to happen to Nintendo. To be honest with you, and it's just
Hmm.
funny that it's happening to Xbox.
Right.
Um,
10 years later, too.
yeah, because they really fucked up the launch of the Xbox One so bad that it's spilling over two
Yeah.
generations later or a whole
Yeah.
generation later. I've never seen anything like this before, to be honest with you. I mean, just the grand scheme of things, I've never seen such a colossal fuck up do so much damage to a brand
Yeah, man.
that they can't recover from it. Like
Yeah.
people legitimately do not want to play an Xbox anymore. Um, and that's sad because they were good competition for PlayStation until that day. And I wonder if the higher ups at Xbox or if people who are there at Xbox who were still there back then are kicking themselves in the foot, because obviously the guy who did it, right, who pushed that initial push, he's gone already. He's already being the CEO of like 2 other companies now.
Hmm.
So obviously he doesn't give a fuck. But I wonder, like, if the people that were there, if they're still there, do they constantly kick themselves in the face? Like, I can't believe we fucked up
They
Xbox
definitely
brand
do.
this bad.
They absolutely do, dude. People absolutely talk about leadership and the decisions they make at companies like this. Like, there's just no way that that's not part of the scuttlebutt happening at Microsoft for sure. In the Xbox division specifically, it's like, how could it not? I mean, if you've worked there for a long time to like see Xbox falter the way it has. It's like, I mean, they're all leads back there, you know? Um, and it's kind of crazy, dude, because like Forza Horizon 5 is an old game. Like it came out like 2 or 3 years ago on Xbox and PC. And dude, this game's fully priced. And I think it's sold like 1.2 million copies on PlayStation or something since it's come out.
Mm,
It's fucking
yeah.
insane. That's crazy. Like, that's actually crazy that's kind of where it's at. It's like, I mean, and I mean, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered, like top in the chart. Like, dude, that's nuts for a fucking remaster. Like, I know it's a little bit more robust than a simple remaster, but still, like, that's pretty impressive. So I don't know. It's just Xbox is gonna be a powerful publisher, I think, going forward, but I think it's becoming clearer. I mean, we've been talking about this for like 2 or 3 years now, I feel like, but it's just clearer that their future in hardware is, the days are numbered, right? Like I think we're gonna get one more Xbox generation, but I don't really know what the appeal of it is really gonna be at this point, you know? Um I mean, because all the games are coming to PlayStation now. Like that's been clear. And so what's your selling point? It's really just Game Pass, you know? Like I don't feel like that's enough for people to want to go buy a piece of hardware, you know? When you could have access to all, cuz for me, a console purchase is really about access, right? Like it's about what games do I want to play and which console has the most of those games that I can play. And the answer for me has largely been PlayStation in the last 15 years, right?
Hmm.
And I think that's becoming truer and truer now that Xbox is publishing their games over here. It's like, I mean, the only thing PlayStation doesn't have are Nintendo exclusives, you know? It's like that's really it. Everything else is on PlayStation. Dude, even PC games, like franchises that you traditionally wouldn't, see on console are now on PlayStation as well. And I mean, they're on Xbox and they're on Switch also, but it's like PlayStation has these too, like Civilization or like things like Crusader Kings or fucking, these like strategy games and shit. Even fucking Age of Empires is on PlayStation 5. And it's like what? It's like, what the hell? So it's, I don't know, it's a different time, it's interesting. And Sony is like very well positioned for the next decade, honestly. Even though they've had their own fuck ups and stuff like that, but it's like their competition's evaporating, though. They don't really, and this is what I'm worried about long term. I know you are too, is what that means for PlayStation going forward. Like, they're not really going to be hugely incentivized to offer their consumers much of anything in terms of value, because they don't have competition. Obviously they need to keep people engaged and interested, but there's a bare minimum they could do to do that. I feel like pretty easily. But the Sony that like really pushes boundaries and like introduces really cool peripherals and games and genres of games and stuff like that. Like I don't know if that's gonna be continuing in the mid to long term, necessarily if Xbox like goes down the way we think they are. So I don't know. I'm thinking about it more long term. Like it's interesting now to see this and like obviously to say that Xbox is the biggest publisher on PlayStation, but does mean something going forward for the industry as a whole.
Yeah, I will say I'll be honest. I think, and maybe this is just me being cynical towards PlayStation, um, but I'm already seeing like the writing happening with PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm already seeing the lack of creativity coming out. I'm already seeing the
Yeah.
lack of innovation from PlayStation coming out. Um, there's just a lot that I'm seeing that I don't think a lot of people are willing to say right now because either they're Sony fanboys or they'll be labeled as Sony haters. And I love Sony, but I think out of their Western part of their, particularly this is particularly pertaining to like the Western side of the video games as far as for PlayStation, I'm seeing a
Yeah.
lack of creativity. The Eastern side, like the Japanese side and everything like that. I mean, I think that's still happening. That's still there.
Mm-hmm.
They're mainly multi-platform, but it is majority on PlayStation. Let's be honest, and I still do see that innovation, creativity there. But as far as the Western side of things, I mean, we haven't got a game from Naughty Dog in forever. I mean, they are coming out with a game, but God knows when that game's going to actually drop. Um, I haven't heard anything from like Ben Studios. I haven't like Sony has a lot of other studios that can do things outside of their range. The only thing we're getting from them is like something from Sucker Punch,
Yeah,
yeah, something from Sucker Punch. But like I haven't heard anything else from any other studios that are doing anything else. I mean, Bungie, I guess you can say, is coming out with
Marathon.
Marathon, but like nobody really asked for that, you know. And I don't think I think the lack of interest in that game is actually showing that may be a sleeper hit, you know. And then
I think
granted, they
it's
came
gonna do
out,
well, but I don't think it'll do Destiny well.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, and you can say like, well, you know, they just came out with Helldivers last year. They had a really good year last year, I think. But I don't think so. I think I'm trying to think what came out last year for PlayStation. I think it was some stuff that came out, but like the one of the sleeper hits they had was Helldivers, and you remember they didn't really put too much stock in Helldivers at all. It
Yeah,
just came out through word of mouth. So,
Astrobot, which that's probably the
yeah,
one. That's probably the one
that's the
game
one.
that
That's the
really,
one game. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
And I mean,
which is
yeah,
like
technically Stellar Blade was exclusive, but you're talking like first party studios, right?
first party
Mostly.
studios. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, we got Intergalactic coming from Naughty Dog, so that's
yeah,
something.
yeah. I mean,
But
we
like,
do, but
I largely agree with you though. Otherwise, like, dude, Insomniac, I am like so apathetic about their future going through like 3030, like, or sorry, 2030, 3030, 2030, with like Wolverine and then another couple Spider-Man games. I'm just like, dude, what are we like? It's just a waste of the studio's talent now. Like, I love the Spider-Man games. Don't get me wrong, but I don't need fucking 4, 5, 6 of them. You know, it's like I was happy with the one or two. You know, it's like, and now they're just like a fucking licensed game printing factory for Marvel, and it's like that just feels like a waste. You know, of great talent. And then you know, you got Gorilla with Horizon. You know, I while I'm like anticipating Horizon 3 coming, I'm not like fucking mega excited about it though necessarily either. So I mean, no, I'm totally with you. I think they're I think Sony's first party is definitely like lacking some spice for sure. Like Astrobot, I mean, I didn't play it, so it's like I don't really know. But from what everybody's said about it, it sounds like a game that's just like really creative and fun. You know,
yeah,
it is a
yeah,
different kind of game for PlayStation's first party. Which it's like I feel like we need more of that. You know, I think Sony's gotten really safe with their games, and their pursuit of live service games, while makes sense from a business perspective, they have clearly misfired on a lot of these. You know, Helldivers 2 notwithstanding, that was clearly a hit. But again, to your point though, they didn't expect that game to be a hit, and it was a hit. It's like, and then the ones they did expect to be a hit were a fucking colossal disaster, like Concord. You know, I don't think anybody gives a shit about fair games. I don't think anybody is going to give a shit about fair games. And I don't think anybody. I don't. I'm kind of with you. I think the response to Marathon has been tepid, but it is there. I don't think people are like hating on it per se, but I don't think they're mega excited either about that one. And that's not a first party game, anyways, really, because it's coming to all platforms. So I don't know. It's and there's a lot of studios we don't know about what they're working on. You know,
yeah.
like Santa Monica, like we have no idea what they're doing. Ben, like you said, Blue Point, which we heard was making a live service God of War game, which what a waste of their fucking time. You know,
Exactly.
they could have pumped
Yeah.
out like 2 remakes by now. You know, in that time frame, it's like, what are we doing, man? You know, so
Yeah, like, and I don't know. Um, I feel like, and then this is what I'm talking about with Xbox, right? Like, how bad do you have to fuck up to where this company? I'm not even like a business major type person or whatever, right? But
mhm,
I'm seeing like PlayStation's cracks in their armor. I'm seeing all the cracks in the armor, and uh,
yeah,
you can't crack it. Like, and you obviously your games are good because look what they're doing on other consoles. So that means people were so turned off by your games, by that display of what you showed 12 years ago. I think it came out in 2013 that thing happened. or that whole exhibit, that whole thing happened in 2013. People were so turned off by it 12 years later, that you can't even do anything about it, but you have the games for it. I don't know how you turn that around, to be honest with you. I
Yeah.
honestly don't. And I think their only choice is to go third party, but they also have to offer more than what PlayStation is offering. You have to you have to get your core audience back. How do you get that core audience back when like everyone's so ingrained into the PlayStation? You have to get those brand deals back. You have to get those, like, I hate to say it, but they have to get those, that Call of Duty brand back. You remember they had certain deals on the PlayStation 3 compared to the Xbox 360. You
Which, I mean,
got
they
better
own it, so
deals.
they could manufacture this if they wanted to,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. They can do that. You got to get those brand deals with like 2K and Madden and stuff like that. You got to get all those deals. You got to incentivize people to come back to your Xbox platform. Um, I mean, I think Game Pass is a solid idea. Um, I think they should continue or reignite the backwards compatibility thing as well.
Hmm.
I think they should just start gearing up for their next console, and they need to start like really attacking PlayStation, because PlayStation, like, as far as like, they don't have an equivalent for Game Pass. Their services for legacy games, you got to pay almost $200 to $300 a month, or I'm sorry, a year, to play those games, right? Like the
Yeah.
PlayStation Premium or PlayStation Extra or whatever the fuck it's called. That shit's expensive as fuck. Like, attack these things, lower your price for Xbox Online, or I would even say you have the capital, go free with it. Like, just do some type of incentive for get people back onto your platform. On top of that, you have to drop good games.
Yeah.
You have to, um mainly for the Western audience. I think the Western audience, Western gamers are more diverse. I mean, people may say disagree with this, but more diverse than Japanese gamers. UK and American gamers are more diverse as far as that. We will play first person shooters and turn around and play Japanese RPGs or whatever the case, more obscure games. Like, incentivize your console to do that. Get that,
Hmm.
bleed that PlayStation market dry. It's going to be hard, but you can do it because you did it with the 360. Like, you carved that path to the 360, and you have to let people know that you're not the Xbox One anymore. Like, we are the new Xbox. We are some, or probably name the console something completely different. Maybe Xbox as a brand is just dead at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just try different things. Like, if this is going to be your last hurrah, just try to go out fighting.
I
Um,
agree.
I I do
I just
think
think the yeah, sorry. Keep going.
no, I'm
Finish.
sorry. I do think that the games that they have and that they're doing, I do think this shows that people have a desire to play those games. But yeah, you just got to bring the heat a little bit more to PlayStation.
Right. Yeah. Like, yeah, to your point, like, yeah, 1.2 million copies of Forza Horizons. Like, those are potential Xbox console owners that you
Ex-
you left on the table, dude. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
you know, like, so clearly, yeah, there's a huge market on PlayStation for your games, but that's because they don't want to come to your platform. Like, but I don't know, man. The problem, like, I think the ship sailed though. I think whatever big push they're gonna make, like, again, they have to argue though, what is the incentive to come? And yeah, Game Pass is great and all, and I think it's a great service and is still worth the money every month. But I mean, it is legitimately one of the reasons Xbox is going third party, because nobody buys games on their own fucking platform. Like, Xbox game sales have completely cratered in the last 5 years. It's just
Yeah.
like there's no point in buying any games on Xbox because you can just get it through Game Pass. So I mean, it's just, and that's not going to change as long as Game Pass is around. So I don't really know how you fix that. Like, I don't think you do. And I think really I think Microsoft's strategy with Xbox really is turned into, we want to make as much money as possible everywhere, and we're still going to make hardware, but that hardware is just going to be one of the pieces of everywhere. It's like they're not trying to get market share anymore. That's at least my feeling on it. At this point. So I could expect a big push for the next console, but I don't think they'll be aggressive in the way you're saying necessarily, because I think I think their behavior in the last couple of years is kind of just tacitly waving the white flag, and they're not saying it out loud, but I think that's where they are, and they're going to focus on making as much money as possible. You know, whether that's selling hardware or not, I don't think they care anymore. They're not going to hold to these strict white lines that they've drawn. It's like they're going to go outside of those bounds now. And I just think that's where Xbox is, and unfortunately, that to my original point, like I think somebody will probably fill the vacuum in the future, but it's just like the next 10 years for Sony. I don't really know what that looks like. Like obviously they're going to turn their attention to Nintendo, I assume. Clearly we know they're working on a handheld for PlayStation 6, I think. That's going to be like a partner device to the console. So clearly they are focused a little bit there, which is cool. That's great for somebody like me. I mean, dude, that's a fucking godsend. Like a fully native compatible PlayStation handheld that can play PS6 games. Like I'm fucking all in on that, dude. Honestly, but it's so that kind of thing is cool, but it's like what happens when Nintendo falls too? It's like what what then is left? It's like I
Mhm.
like companies need to be incentivized. They need competition to innovate, they're not going to just do it in a vacuum on their own, generally, because if they don't have to, that means they have to spend less money on cost and expense. And they will do that if they can continue to make higher profits, doing that. So I don't know. It's just food for thought. It's interesting. These sales numbers are certainly interesting. For sure. It's just like, on one hand, it's like I'm sure Xbox is like patting themselves on the back and everything, and Phil's telling Satya like, "Hey, bro, look, man, people love our games. Look at this." But on the other hand, it's like it's almost embarrassing how much they're selling on PlayStation, because it's like those could be people that bought your console.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's like it's kind of puts like a giant spotlight on their failures as a hardware manufacturer. But it's kind of interesting because I don't really think anybody's talking about it from that angle. It's really more of like it's just like, oh, this is crazy. Isn't this so interesting? And it's like it is, but it's like at the same time, it's like when you look at it from a macro standpoint, it's like, dude, like it's kind of crazy that we're here. Like, how did we get here?
Mhm.
Um, so yeah. All right. Let's move on. Final story. This is also Xbox related, related to what we were just talking about, actually. Gears of War Reloaded has been announced, and it is coming on August 26th, and it is coming to Xbox, PC, and PlayStation on that date. This is going to be just the first game, Gears of War, and it's going to be $40. And it will have all sorts of enhancements, 4K, 60 FPS, 120 FPS and multiplayer, all sorts of other stuff in there. So just the first game, but yeah, I mean, Montreal. When was the last time you played Gears of War, and do you want to play it again on Modern Hardware?
Uh, the last time I played Gears of War was a while ago. I think I tried to play Gears of War 4, actually. That was the
Yeah.
last time I tried to play it.
Well, what about the
Um,
original one though? Like
I haven't played the originals in a while.
since like
I just
360.
no, I think I played it. I think I played it on the Xbox One or the Xbox.
Okay,
It hasn't been. It definitely hasn't been on the newer Xbox consoles, but I definitely played it on the Xbox One.
dude, I don't think I've played it since 360. It's been a really long time for me.
Yeah, I don't know. Something about Gears, like they're just special games. I don't really want to revisit them, if that makes any sense. Like it's not
Yeah.
like they came and went, but they were like very special games to me.
Yeah, but
Um,
hey, man, wouldn't this be fun to co-op? I mean,
yeah,
it's
it would.
short, right? It's like 7 or 8 hours, if that, right?
Yeah,
Like, um, so I don't know. I'm down. I'm actually I may pick this up and play it. It's been a really long time since I played Gears One, and I think it's an excellent game. Like I love Gears One, and it's kind of a throwback too to a different time. We don't really get shooters like this anymore with campaigns like this. It's kind of rare nowadays.
yeah, no, I agree. Me and my other friend were talking, and like, yeah, I miss like the co-op shooters. Like, you remember Army of Two and
Yep.
Kane and Lynch and
Yep.
stuff like that. Like, we don't get games like those anymore. Uh, I imagine they came out, they would try to weird way to monetize them and turn into some kind of gotcha shooter or some shit like that.
Mhm.
So I don't know. But hopefully I will be playing this, and hopefully Gears like kind of it reignites that whole co-op. And I think what made Gears so special too was like, remember you can couch co-op that game.
Yeah.
And I played it with my brother. Like we couch co-op the game or whatever. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a really fun game. It was a fun single player game too. Had a really compelling story. The characters are really good. Uh, and it was really jarring too because it was a game with like macho characters, but they were actually like very, very, very well developed
Yeah.
and had emotion and wasn't afraid to show that emotion and everything. So
Yeah, dude, the second game with, the whole storyline with Dom was, like, fucking
yeah,
devastating, dude, like,
yeah,
there's actually some really good storytelling in Gears, you know?
yeah,
Surprisingly, and, I think the game's, like I mean, they set, like, a whole like, Gears of War kinda set off a whole trend, you know, for a long time the PS3, Xbox 360 cycle. You know, and weird things that like never really resurface, like the active reloading mechanic that these games have. Like no one's ever really copied that, as far as I know. Like, which is weird because it's a great mechanic and I love it in Gears. You know,
yeah, yeah.
um,
I don't know. I mean, I saw a thread of like 360 games that came out, and I just forgot how innovative the 360 slash PS3 generation was, as far as the gameplay. Like we were really discovering the modern controls that we use now, and we were using it for some really cool games. Um, I think there was a game called Stranglehold or something like that.
mm,
Um, and it was like a shooting game, and you can do like Jackie Chan uh type moves with your guns. Like he ran down the hallway and stuff like that. I completely forgot about this game. And he was running down the hallway shooting with both like dual guns or whatever. And then he jumped on a cart and he was like he dived forward on the cart and the cart was moving forward. And he was shooting on the cart like that, like just while the cart was moving
yeah,
forward and shit like that. And
yeah,
it was like really
yeah,
Jackie Chanish. And
hmm
I thought that was like, yeah, it's called Stranglehold. Yeah. And I was like, man, I forgot about this game. It was made by Midway actually. Um and and yeah, like we don't get games like that anymore that were just like very like short, fun, and just like over the top and everything like that. Like very, very experimental, you know. Um and I think there's a yearning for those type of games. I think people are tired of all the games that we're getting now that are just
hmm
like, you know, business as usual type shit.
yeah,
And I think Gears of War was one of those games where it was very experimental. There weren't many cover shooters. I think the only cover shooter we had was like I'm gonna call it was it called Switchback or something like that.
hmm
Kill Switch. Kill Switch was like one of the first cover shooters I've ever played. Besides that, you can go all the way back to like N64, which is Winback,
hmm
and that game was a cover shooter. But obviously, it was a single analog controller type situation. The controls weren't the best. Um, but yeah, you had this cover shooter, which was with the chainsaw assault rifle, with the active reload, like you said. Um, and it was just like a fun game to play, and it was very experimental, and it worked.
right,
And we just don't get shit like that anymore. Like, I mean, the last time we did get something like that, in my opinion, was like maybe Titanfall, and we see how that turned out. So,
right, right.
yeah, I don't know.
Well, do you think it's weird? Do you think it's weird that they are only doing the first game?
No, I think the first game is to some the first game is the most influential game. I think the second one's the best. Um, but yeah, it doesn't. It makes sense that they're just doing the first one for right now.
But they already have a trilogy like released, you know, like on Xbox.
hmm I mean,
Um,
Xbox does this with their games, right? Halo 2 got that really crazy remake
yeah,
where they remade all the. They got Blur Studios to remake every cutscene in Halo 2.
yeah, yeah,
Um, so I mean, and that was the only game that got that kind of treatment. Halo 1 did get the treatment of having updated graphics and going back and forth like Halo 2. You can do that as well. Halo 3
Yeah.
didn't get that.
Yeah.
So, even though I'm pretty sure, in my opinion, a lot of people, especially the younger generation, grew up with Halo 3 over Halo 2.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, fair enough. That's all we got today, Montrell, for news. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we head out today?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Well, we did it. We were hoping to be done by 8:30, and we made it happen, Montrell. But think we had a nice show anyways. Just a short week, not a lot of news this week to really talk about. So yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like the show, review the show, and subscribe to the show on whatever feed you're listening to it on. And please subscribe to us on YouTube. If you'd like to interact with the show on Twitter, you can do so at The Players Take, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. And that'll be it for us, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you next week.